Hello. I picked one of the funniest times, I'm sure, to do this because the sun is like directly in my face. Yes, I'm wearing two pairs of sunglasses, well, a pair of sunglasses, and then my regular goggles because I'm blind and cheap. But one of the things, the main thing I wanted to come on and kind of chat about. Sorry if you're all. It is very windy out, and my car is a beast, and we just got off back road, so. The main thing that I wanted to come on and chat about was just gratitude, like my deepest fucking gratitude. That I get to live and work the life that I do. I am currently driving back from a tattoo appointment that I had. I did the tattoo, not received the tattoo. And it was an out-of-town one today, which was really, really fun. And I got to tattoo in Renfrew. It was a really awesome tattoo. She's an artist herself, and she designed this magnificent piece. It looked something it was very illustrative, very out of a 1800s cartoon, like a fairy tale book, you know what I mean? It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I had to kind of bask in the moment of oh, this is my life right now, because this morning it was the fucking polar opposite. And isn't that just it, how quickly those things can change? And one of the biggest things this morning, and actually really it started last night, I'm quite a kinetic individual. Whenever there's residual energy or emotion, I pick that up very easily, and I don't always recognize that that's what I'm picking up. And so there's a lot of times where I'll be in this absolute fucking rage, or this absolute meltdown, even though minutes ago I was fine. I was in my glory. I could be in a moment today. Last night, actually, so my partner and I, every Monday, we go to group meditation, and usually it's super restorative, relaxing, beautiful. We sink in, and it's almost this deep, we're basically being lulled to sleep. It's beautiful. Last night I had the hardest time easing into it. My nose. So to start, as soon as the meditation started, I freaking had a fit, which would have been a coughing fit, except I didn't get the coughing out. I couldn't, you're in a room full of a bunch of people who are all laying down in this nice kind of Zen environment. The last thing you want to be doing is coughing into somebody's ear. And so my big thing was trying to hold it quietly into myself. And it was as she was saying, if you're experiencing or observing anything within the body, that you should focus on it. You should kind of sink into it to see if you can help it pass. Speaking of pass, sorry, I had to pass some slow folks. Hydro trucks. They're doing their good work. Anyway, I had a cough stuck in the back of my throat for at least 20 minutes of the 45 of the talking guided meditation. And as if that weren't bad enough, by the time that it finally cleared, I'd spent so much time focusing on that my nose, which I wasn't breathing through anymore, had gotten very dry. And so now I was breathing through essentially what felt like a pinhole. And anytime I'd try to breathe in or breathe out, or clear my nose or my throat, it would just squeak. It would just squeak. And it was bad. It was really, really bad. So basically the entire 45 minutes of the first part of the meditation, I was breathing through a straw. And my husband was right next to me, and he could hear me struggling. And he was so sweet. He was just are you okay? Giving me a little tap. You good? And anyway, by the time that it got to the sound bath portion of it, and my friend had started doing the singing bowls and whatnot, I finally started sinking in. And by that point, it was just I was gone. I was fully gone. In that last 15 minutes, I was the deepest rest I've had all fucking week. And it was beautiful because like we got home, I was in this high energy, like very high vibrational. I was very much just of the mind, like, okay, we're gonna kind of simmer down. I'm gonna have my chai tea and I'm gonna go back to work. Like it's late, but I also have a lot to do for the hippie head. That didn't end up working out. I ended up picking up some really just, and it felt like mine. Like it felt like mine, and I owned it like it was mine. Solid rager, fucking angry at everything, wanted to burn down the world. And the biggest fucking, like, I couldn't even look at my partner. I was so just like, I wanted to scream, I wanted to yell, I wanted to hit, like, very like childish level, like what would have been temper tantrum. And my God, if it didn't carry into this morning. And so I was like, it's kind of trying to like map through my head. I'm like, okay, what would have me this rampant, like this absolutely just like catastrophized, like this fucking catastrophic like tantrum. And it wasn't until this morning, and like quite late last night actually, I think I recognized like the election for starters for Canada, and that kind of like the puzzle piece clicked, you know what I mean? It made sense. This morning, however, that rage continued, and that rage was very, very much the same. Like it was helplessness, right? Like that anger and that fucking, no, fuck you, you did this. And it was very much like I was catching myself blaming my partner for a lot of things, like if not everything that I could possibly think could be his fault was suddenly his fault this morning. And it wasn't until like I went to the gym, I did my normal kind of like decompress, and that helped so fucking much. To go to the gym and see some of like the regular faces that make up my day, and the regular people that just kind of like already boost my spirits. And like they're very much the same way, like they're in there, they're very much like they're there for the same reasons I am, to punch our demons in the face with heavy weights and to just kind of like decompress, like allow our body and our nervous system the ability to kind of like rein it back in. And so one of my friends at the gym had given me like a token or a chip, and he's in AA, so I thought at first that it was one of his tokens, and I was gonna be like, yeah, but I'm like, you're already past your 2 years, like I what? Anyway, this sweet fucking soul, like Kyle, like we love this man. Kyle made him malas. I've tattooed him a good couple times now, and he is on such a profound journey of his own, and being able to communicate with him, being in like having been in a very similar spot myself, like getting my kids back, like my kid, like working on absolutely everything from bottom to the top, like whole life makeover, and working through those old patterns of behavior and working through those old narratives. And he is very much doing the same. Like he's very much on that mission, and he is fiercely dedicated to it. And so it's quite beautiful, honestly, watching him navigate that. And then like at the gym, whenever we see each other, it's one of those quick like, hey, how's it going? Like how is the journey? And he's always, if he's in a state, he will acknowledge the state. Anyway, to make a long story short, he gave me this chip today, and I can't remember what it said on the one side, but on the other side, it was that in essence, it was basically just saying, you're a great person, thank you for doing what you do, you make a difference. That was actually the one side, was you make a difference. And he came up to me, and it was like a kid giving a teacher, like his favorite teacher or whatever, like a little apple, like, or a gift, and being like, hey, you really just make shit make sense for me, and I really appreciate you and all that you do and all that you've done for yourself and for others, and in turn for me. And dude, this fucking it. How do you be in a bad mood after that? Like how? Like beyond that, seeing some of my regular friends and like my regular closeness, like close people, and being able to hug it out without saying words, without You know what I mean? And I kind of got to sit a lot this morning with the fact that so many of us are in such a state of overwhelm right now. And that's totally understandable. Our country has been struggling a lot for the little bit. And it's like any time over the past couple of years that it seemed like, oh, there's a silver lining coming, like gas prices are down, or like we have like a second to breathe, right? It's just like, nope, and the rug's pulled right from under us again. And so I genuinely do understand why so many people are as frustrated as they are, especially given the narrative that we're kind of dealing with right now. But let's bring it back a little bit. The biggest thing I think that helped me today get out of self, get out of my head, was getting out, doing my normal routine, doing my normal kind of rhythm, but then also getting out of it. Anytime that I tried to have control today, like any semblance of control, Source would be like, nope, and it would take it away. And so for the first little bit, I was kind of like, man, like this is really uncomfortable. I don't like this at all. And like, it's not fair. Like nothing's working out in a way that I kind of needed it to. And so anyway, I left around noon after stopping in at home. Got to apologize to my hubby for making the world his fault this morning. And I'm glad that he is just as absurdly receptive as he is to things like that, because he was just immediately, as soon as he saw me back from the gym, he opened his arms, like big open arms. He's like, hey, how you doing? How's everything going? You okay? Like, I know that was a lot. And like, that was without me having even apologized yet. That was still me coming in after having basically torn his head clean off his shoulders this morning. And he just understood. He recognized right away. He's like, no, she's feeling the world right now. It's not just her. It's not just her own fears. She's feeling the world. And he acknowledged that. He knew without words, because, and this is why he's my spouse, is because he's able to anticipate where I'm at. And sometimes, like, don't get me wrong, I know he's not a mind reader. I definitely have to fill him in a lot more often than not. But this was such a beautiful example of just like, not only trusting Source, but trusting him. So I hit the road at around 12. And because it takes me about an hour to get to the place that I was getting to, I had to stop and get gas and get windshield washer fluid, and trying to do that on the side of the road whenever it is so fucking windy. We had a tornado warning watch thing today, and the wind absolutely shows that. I just actually looked over, and the water, like from down in the mountain, was like, woof, woof. So I was like, it was a windy fucking day. I got windshield washer fluid all over me. That was a hoot. And all over my car, because I guess it needed a good wash. Even trying to turn against the wind right now is hilarious. But yeah, so I was driving, and my GPS decided to take me for an absolute whirl. I kind of know how to get to my friend's house, but I super didn't. Like, it's a lot of back roads and a lot of like back country area, and it took me down this beautiful like backcountry adventure, and my GPS wouldn't even take me there on the way back. Like, I could not find it again on the way back, but it took me almost an hour and a half to get there, like a half hour longer than anticipated, even though it said it was around the same time. Time has been super funny today, but Source knew I needed a break, and Source was sourcing in the most beautiful of ways, and took me down a beautiful breath of fresh air backcountry road before I started the tattoo, so that I could decompress, and so that I could take some time and some breaths and some just self, enjoy self. I sang, I think, the whole ride, like the whole ride there, the whole hour and a half. And it truly just put me back into such a headspace of absolute gratitude. Oh, there's a whole garbage can in the road right now. Um, and for the rest of the week, like there's like gratitude for not only today but for the rest of the week as well, because I tomorrow get to do another fucking awesome tattoo, like a dream tattoo. I've been waiting for him to book again. He's one of my best friends, and he lets me, like, we collaborate in really cool ways for his tattoos. But most of them had been freehand. This one was a little bit more planned, and it's lots of sacred geometry and animals. Like, I think tomorrow we're doing an owl, and the flower of life, and I think a Metatron. That's gonna be cool. And the day after that, on Thursday, I get to build the last 2 days of stock. Okay, there is a child blocking the entrance. Thank you, buddy, with the kite. Stay away from the road, little guy. Sorry. Just backing in at home. But one of the biggest things, I think, was just the deepest gratitude for the fact that everything I have manifested, right down to that $1.60 that was in my pocket, my only $1.60 that was in my pocket about a week ago, it's as it's meant to be. I am arting, like, a lot, and my art is making money. And within the first weeks of May, like the first 2 weeks in May, the money that I was so terrified I wasn't gonna have in time has already tripled itself. Like, without any of the money from the hippie hut, without any of the money from markets or shows, I already have $3,000 coming in. The start of next month. Almost 800 of that is taxes, because for the first time I had a return on my income from humble beginnings, like with my art business. And that's it. That's blind faith. I talked about it a bit the other day in my studio, talking about it a bit more now, because now it's just like excitement and gratitude, while acknowledging that I can still be rage, while acknowledging and being accountable for my deep and messy emotions. And I think that feels like growth. That feels like progress. To know that this morning I was this fucking raging lunatic, and like my poor daughter and my poor husband, and I'm grateful that I was able to kind of like take time with each individually to be able to kind of reclaim and like be accountable for that, own that, because like regardless of whether or not it was feeling my energy or the collective energy, I was still reactive. I was still responsive in a way that was taking it out and projecting onto my family. And that sucks a lot. No one likes that. I don't like it whenever they do it to me. They don't like it when I do it to them. I know they don't. And so the best we can do as humans is be accountable. But yeah, that's it. Quick little chat today. Gratitude, accountability. More of a ramble than anything, but just because I wanted to enjoy the rest of your day.